Hello and welcome to the first ever 49th episode of the Whoniverse show. You're here with me, Jamie.
Me, Lewis.
Me, Brian.
So, why is it that when I'm not here, you don't know how the theme goes? Do you not watch Doctor Who?
I've never heard of it in my life.
I thought the theme might be better now that Doctor Who's back on the air.
Yeah, and you have it fresh in your mind from the episode that you watched.
I think the problem is I'm a classic fan, so I try to do the classic theme.
The theme's changed since then.
It's significantly changed, yes.
No, it hasn't.
It's changed
We've
a
all been
bit.
watching Classic Who together.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about that.
The theme's exactly the same.
Although
It's got
a flaw in my otherwise
It goes proper techno now, doesn't it?
a flaw in my otherwise perfect.
Wow, 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 wow.
I like the new intro just to add that to.
I like
the
the
sort of melting bubble of.
It looks like a lava lamp.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we've all been together since last year.
Since ages.
Really?
Yeah. What did you all get for Christmas?
I got nothing Doctor Who related, sad to report.
So,
I got a dash cam.
I got.
Such is my life.
But you don't drive.
No, I'd carry it about with me. I document my life with it strapped to my forehead.
Wow. I wonder what that was. Lewis?
Well, I think we covered this in a previous podcast. You got me a Doctor Who Spork.
I did, yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way. I'm using it to eat my dinner now. It's at work. The only thing is,
Did people comment on it?
got a bit. Yeah. My team leader actually wanted to look at it and play with it. Anyway,
Played
Well,
it.
what about the smoke?
Yeah. Was it a spark?
The thing
or-
is, the thing is though, it says that it's
Not a toy.
It's dishwasher appropriate. However, some of the paint has started to fade on it, and I've only put it through the dishwasher twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that sort of stuff through a dishwasher.
It does say that it's allowed, though.
Yeah,
I
I know,
would,
but it's-
I would suggest the BBC take the dishwasher allowed off of it because it is.
It's not actually in production anymore.
Is it not?
No, it's not something we actually make anymore. But
I've already
what I
asked.
bought you is actually vintage.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd,
They're only £6 online, though.
run it. Yeah, because it's not. The definition of vintage means they don't make it anymore.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's
Well,
valuable.
I could
You're
get
pretty
another
vintage, Brian.
I'm a vintage and of no value to anyone whatsoever.
one. I could get another one and keep it in his
Brian is at
box.
the age now where you have to open him up and let him breathe for an hour before he consume.
I remember Earth before the.
You are a bit
I remember
popped.
Earth before the drugs.
I got a Doctor Who tea set.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I got a Doctor Who teapot,
Oh,
a
yeah,
Doctor
you
Who
were
milker,
saying.
Wow, that's awesome.
and
I
Dawn.
asked you if it was bigger on the inside and
Yeah.
last show.
And Dawn bought me a Doctor Who, like a framed frame. Frame.
Frame.
It's a photo.
Wheels
of
within wheels.
It's a photo. Coincidentally with a photo inside of all the
I'm
doctors,
confused.
and it's got all their autographs printed.
Oh,
awesome.
oh
Yeah.
right. So not
All
actually all the rock
Top
crystals
current.
printed.
All of them, yeah.
Including our Jodie.
Even our Jodie. Yeah, it's quite obviously photoshopped in right at the end as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so how are you feeling about Doctor Who in general before we move on to Orphan 55?
I'm so glad it's back.
So glad.
It's been a long year since.
We've never actually
Was
spoken
it
about current Who
Resolution?
on the show before, have we?
No, we haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's excellent that it's back. It's been so long, and I think me and Bri went on to say in the last episode as well that we've been so deprived, like of Doctor Who. Maybe we were giving Spyfall more of a decent rating than it deserved. However, it did deserve a decent rating.
Yeah. I haven't actually I haven't listened to the most recent episode yet from the new year.
Oh,
So I don't actually know what your thoughts are on the latest episode yet.
Right.
I did listen to the beginning, and I specifically said to Lewis in the email I sent to him, saying I can't be in today. Here are the show notes. Make sure you read them first before you go online. And he proceeds to go on like, what is he talking? Is he talking about both parts? He is talking about both parts. These are revelations you need to come to before the show goes on the air.
Okay, Jamie. you know me. Why would you ask me to do something like that? You should have asked Brian to read the notes and go over them with me.
I think Brian will be even worse.
No one could be worse.
Sulking now.
So, moving on to Doctor Who, an Orphan 55 review.
That rhymes.
Thank you. I've been working very hard.
Yeah, I know you like your rhymes.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Orphan 55?
Pretty damn good. Not as good as Spyfall.
Spyfall is pretty much peak Doctor Who. Well, peak Whittaker Who,
Yeah.
I'd say, at the moment.
Excellent standalone episode. I'd say, you know, if there are things that we're going to take from this episode to sort of, you know, bring into other episodes, great. But it works well as a standalone episode. You know, I really enjoyed it.
I wrote a piece.
I can see.
Yeah. Didn't bring any water, I should have. Orphan 55 is a return to what Chibnall does best: social commentary. What is coincidentally one of my favourite genres of film. Kevin Smith being a masterclass of the genre, and other shows like Black Mirror have their own twist on it. Does Orphan 55 live up to the greats? No. But it's a damn good episode and served as a reminder of what we're doing to our planet. Lewis, who doesn't recycle and drives to work every day. My favourite quote from the episode is, "You're all arguing about who is going to do the washing up whilst the house is on fire."
Brilliant.
A brilliant take
Yeah.
on global warming and how nothing is being done about it, and this could very well be our future, especially considering certain world leaders are playing rock, paper, scissors with our lives. America having their very own Tony Blair. Bam, bam, bam. Shots fired. James Buckley sadly wasn't a main attraction in the episode. Not given much screen time, didn't have any room to shine. That rhymes. The limelight instead fell onto his son, which is a shame, as after In Between Us he kind of disappeared and only popped up for the occasional Betfred advert, or his gaming YouTube channel. Completed it, mate. The show was very typical, very predictable, and sadly not enough happening. However, as a standalone episode, it was fantastic. Truly wonderful episode, and I feel Series 12 Doctor Who is on top form. I started tearing up when that old lady got a marriage proposal.
Yes, from soon to be dead.
"Will you marry me?" "Yes, of course I will, darling. Go save him."
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, can somebody shoot me? Which is how I thought after proposing to Catherine, actually. She doesn't listen to the show.
She doesn't listen.
She'd know.
She's got your balls already anyway. Lewis?
You know, the parts with James Buckley in, I was quite disappointed that they didn't, you know, utilise his best feature, which is his comedy. You know, like there was very little, you know, in the way of comedic relief from him. You know, what was Chibnall thinking?
That's because you put James Buckley in anything for the comedy relief.
Yeah.
To sort of, you know, add some silliness to the seriousness, which is typical Doctor Who, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You need someone silly in there, like that really annoying guy in Doctor Who classic.
James Corden.
Oh,
He's really annoying.
I like him.
I don't.
Okay, well, he doesn't like you.
Good. That's that.
By the way, James Corden, if you do listen to the show, please send us an email
Yeah,
to,
come on,
to give
look,
us comments
I'd love to-
how you
I'd love to have
feel
you-
about Brian.
As if you can type with your fat fingers.
You're one to talk. Aren't you
No.
bigger than he is?
No, much slimmer than James Corden. And much more talented.
He can drive a car and interview people at the same time, I'll have you know. It's
And
called
sing.
carpool karaoke.
So
And
I just
and
don't know
present TV shows and write and star.
he doesn't write any of his own.
He
James
wrote
Corden's-
Gavin and Stacey
Well, that's a load of old tosh as
with
well.
Ruth Jones.
Currently, the only thing you can do, like you could ever consider a talent, is podcasting.
Yes,
And James Corden does that better as well.
I'm not very good at that either.
Excellent. So now Brian's life is in tatters, and he's been shut
I was in
down.
tatters since.
He proposed.
I didn't say that,
He's nodding
but I was
in
about
agreement.
to.
Right. So
You're giving your opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. No, to me, Orphan 55 was decent enough episode, minus James Buckley's not funny appearance in it. I didn't get that. I didn't understand, the idea that I know the boy was smarter than him and he could do his job a lot better than him, but I didn't get why you would have James Buckley play a character like that. It just didn't make sense.
I thought it would have been a really good companion.
The social commentary comes into it more in my news in the later section. I've got a good number of quotes from the episode that that I enjoyed as well. I have to admit that I left out the one the house on fire.
I say that's the most Doctor Who quote Chibnall's.
Yes,
that's the most Doctor Who thing Whittaker's Doctor's ever said.
However, there were so many quotes in that short space of time that you could just pick apart and take and just run with. It was a really powerful message, and almost like a soliloquy as well. She was facing the camera, giving a speech to the audience, rather than just the fan.
Yeah, she was like,
"You, what are you doing to the planet?"
I thought it was up there with the 11th. No, hang on. Capaldi's Doctor when he made the speech in the Zygon episodes.
He is the 11th.
No, he's the 12th.
12th Doctor.
Oh yeah, he's the 12th.
Call yourself a Nubian.
Right.
When he made the speech in the Zygon episodes about war, etc.
Did he go war? What is it good for?
No, full well.
Should have done that.
I'd say every Doctor except Eccleston's had a good speech. I can't recall Eccleston ever.
Matt Smith's is is when he's on Stonehenge. That's got to be his.
No, his best speech is in the Rings of Archipel.
No, it's not.
What about there was a speech in Good Man Goes to War, wasn't there, or was it Demons Run? I don't know. Oh, it's the one where he tells them. I liked the general runaway.
So, Brian, what's your opinion on the episode?
Again, as a standalone episode, I thought it was perfectly fine. Wasn't, as I said, good as Spyfall. Great. That speech, as I said, is up there with some of the previous Doctor's best speeches.
I'd say it was more Doctor Who than the previous episode as well.
James Buckley, criminally underused.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will be, comparing this entire season to Spyfall? Like the episode, or do you think we're going to have something that could surpass it?
I don't know. This is Chibnall we're talking about.
Yeah. There's Jamie again with his Chibnall abuse.
Don't you remember what Jar Jar did at the start of the last series?
Yeah, no.
He had a really amazing Woman Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah.
Great episode. The rest of the episode's not so great.
Yeah.
They weren't poor, but...
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they were memorable.
No.
Can anybody remember the plot of Arachnids in the UK?
Spiders.
Yeah.
That Donald Trump
type character.
Yeah, but what was the actual plot?
Spiders.
Where did the spiders come from?
Toxic waste.
Are you guessing?
I'm sort of guessing.
They were normal spiders who.
It was sort of like Spider-Man.
So we're doing out of 4 ratings now instead of out of 10.
Okay.
And there's a reason. Because the listeners vote as well for their ratings, and it's always out of 4.
Yeah.
There's always 4 options, so it makes sense that we have the same options.
Yeah, this was one of those things that I again thought, what is this all about? Like in the thingy, and then when we realised that it was out of 4, I was like, all right, that's
read ahead.
Okay.
So out of 4, what would you give it?
3.
3?
Yeah, I'd go with a solid 3.
Yeah, I give it a 3. So that's a solid 3 for the listeners listening. We did have a comment on our YouTube channel as well, because we do have another section called Thingamajig.
Yeah, my favourite.
Yeah. Product review.
No. Topic of a Who cast, which will be coming on to next, soon.
Nice save, Jamie.
I pre-ordered the show, so it's a bit confusing.
Could I edit that?
I'll reorder it. No, but we have a section of the show where we talk about what we think the next episode will hold.
Right.
I mean, and even though the question was never put up for the listeners, we got a response all the same from William Who on our YouTube channel. And he wrote, "Great watch, guys. It's YouTube. My expectations for Orphan 55 is pretty average, I'd say. I don't think it will be anything much to do with a series arc, and will be more of a fun story where the team are on holiday. I'm getting smile vibes from the trailers, but hopefully it will be good, and hopefully we will get a ginger doctor one day. Shut up, William.
We discussed
We discussed
last show,
this.
didn't we?
Yeah,
We
that's
said,
why he's
Rupert Grint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is why he's commenting on it, because we discussed the Ginger Doctor.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yes.
we went into. I think Rupert Grint was the go-to on it.
He was one of the favourites, but was never actually asked.
Right?
Yeah, it was in an interview. No one asked me. I don't know why I was in the bookies.
Oh right.
So we have voting in the TARDIS each week. Put up a poll on the Whoniverse Show Twitter page to give a out of 4 rating on the show, and it got a record high for the podcast.
Yep.
Okay, 3.21 stars, as calculated by our statistics analyst daily.
3.21 stars.
Yes. We got 11% 1 star, 9% 2 stars, 28% 3 stars, and for 4 stars we've got 53% with an average of 3.21.
Damn, people like
Depending
that
what
episode.
sort of average you use, whether you use mean, medium,
Well,
No.
I'll leave that to my statistical analyst daily, who came up with 3.21, which is the current highest rating for any episode of Doctor Who we've ever reviewed that was voted in by the listeners.
I think maybe we should put it out there for people to email us and advise us why they voted 1, 2, 3 or 4 stars, because it'd be interesting to see opinion, rather than just say 1, 2, 3 or 4 stars, just get them to sort of justify their rating on this one, because
Just funny you should say that. We do get reviews,
Yeah,
240 word reviews for very short but very straight to the point thoughts. And if only our one and only Sergey from Serbia could give us a read.
I don't think Kirby's from Serbia. But
no,
Sergey?
Sergey's a Russian name,
So this Sergey's from Serbia.
Hello.
Oh, hey Sergey, how you doing?
Hello, Kirby Lloyd.
he's just walked in now.
Amazing! Jar Jar Chibnall really outdid himself. Ha ha! Just hope all of our episodes continue like this.
Oh, if they need a new villain for the next James Bond film.
Thank you, Sergey. You got an absolute beautiful voice. Has anyone ever told you that?
Thank you,
We got another comment from
Mr. Bond.
Mr. Bond.
We got another comment from @Gozi01.
Goze01. He sounds like how you say giant robot.
Just read the comment, Sergey.
I keep thinking to myself that BBC missed the trick by not making Bradley Walsh Doctor Who. He's the best thing in it.
Would you agree with
Thoughts?
that?
Controversial. The name of the show is Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The name of the
I'd
so
say
it's
Jodie
just
Whittaker is the
Doctor.
best thing in it.
Making the embodiment of the show.
Sergey, we've got another comment from Smith M. Valentine.
Hello, Smith M. Valentine. The companions were irrelevant. Could have been cut out without losing anything. Jodie's facial expression cracked me up.
You know, Sergey, it would really help if before you read him, you actually read him to
them.
yourself first.
Fuck!
I'm talking, so he has a chance to read them ahead,
Yeah.
but he's not taking the hint. Have you read it yet to yourself, so you know what you're going to say next?
Oh no.
So we've got another comment
Sure.
from CC_324B21. Sergey?
Okay, I am not even gonna try with that name. Here we go. Didn't like it at the start. Didn't feel like Doctor Who. More like a run-of-the-mill agency spy show. But the ending, boy, did I love it.
Oh. And don't forget, you can email us your thoughts at thewhoniverseshow@gmail.com or DM us
Was CC's
at Whoniverse Show on Twitter.
was CC's about Spyfall? Run-of-the-mill agency spy show.
Yeah.
No.
I thought we were either way. I thought we were talking about the current.
How could we possibly have all this by now?
I do not know.
These are the photos for Spyfall.
Ah, okay.
Was it not
Sounds
clear?
very useful if you're not sure. Spyfall votes
I mean,
are in.
I did say it verbally as well for
okay.
the listeners.
Blonde me.
Luckily, during all this chitter chatter, Sergey read the comments ahead,
Yeah.
so now he knows what he needs to say next.
That's never going to happen.
So we've got another comment, Sergey, from Lewis Turner.
Hello, Lewis. I have a friend called Lewis.
No one cares, Sergey. No one cares.
Greeting from East Essex, lads. Spyfall was remarkable. The twist, the plane falling apart, everything. I just have a... I have just been... Okay, I can't do this. It's just been a nightmare from special effects team to create this. Just fantastic.
So, listeners, if you ever want to start your own podcast, it's very important that when you involve people in what's essentially a hobby, that you ask them to take it a bit more seriously. Maybe read the comments ahead of time.
Well, if somebody sent me the script ahead of time, maybe I would have.
It's funny because I actually give it to you to print.
10 minutes before the show.
No, it wasn't. It was like half an hour.
Still.
Well, that's very high pitched.
It was like half an hour.
Joe Pasquale, get out.
So moving on to the next the topic of the Who Cast Tesla episode.
Yeah.
There's no what you got there. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
What's it called?
So it's a podcast, guys.
Okay.
I think you understand how radio works.
So Nikola Tesla,
So-
Night of Terror.
So I looked everywhere at the time of writing, and there is no mention as to what the name of the episode is. The official Doctor Who Twitter page wrote, when promoting the episode, 1903 period, followed by a short description of the episode. Who or what is sabotaging Nikola Tesla's generator plant at Niagara Falls? And I almost said Nigeria. Oh, now I have. And has this maverick inventor really received a message from Mars? Which just led me to believe that the episode was called 1903. But Brian, the episode's called
Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror.
Telsa's.
Telsa, yeah. Tesla.
Got a bit of something to admit, and I'm sure one of you could maybe tell me. Who's Nikola Tesla?
Whoa!
Well, he's definitely an inventor.
Did he invent electricity or
Right.
something?
No. He...
Invented the light bulb? No, that was Edison.
So Nikola Tesla was...
Well, why's he got a girl's name?
He was from the
He was actually
Balkans.
Serbian American.
He was Serbian American. I've been to a museum in Serbia, actually. Right. The Tesla coil. Do you know what a Tesla coil is?
No.
It's a high-frequency electrical device that fires arcs of plasma from one side of a room to another. You can actually tune them to make specific sounds and play songs with them.
That sounds very useless.
It is amazing, though. He did a lot of research in the field of electronics. One of the things is that he went to university in one of the countries over in Eastern Europe. Can't remember which one it was, but in his second year he quit university because his college professor told him that his idea for alternating current was a load of gobbledygook, and 2 years later he came back with a working generator and went, yeah, okay, there you go.
So he invented the generator.
A type of generator and a type of electricity or electricity generation. Him and Thomas Edison were sort of like they were working against each other in many ways. Thomas Edison ruined Nikola Tesla, like in what to one point he wanted to prove that Nikola Tesla's way of generating electricity was more dangerous than his own.
It was.
So he electrocuted. No, it wasn't. They're both as dangerous as each other. He electrocuted sheep and other animals to death in front of large audiences to prove his point. Nikola Tesla died alone and penniless in 1943 in New York City in a hotel room because his reputation was in tatters. I'm out of information, but you can pull up a lot of information online about him. There are specific things, like for instance, he had an idea for the laser beam back then.
Sounds really
He
interesting.
had loads of really sort of out there wacky ideas. One of his last ideas that he tried to get funding for, and this is what broke him. Edison, wanted to discredit him on it because Edison had a lot of money in land-based electric.
Rich.
One of Tesla's ideas was a non-local communication of electricity, so to essentially wirelessly communicate electricity via microwave technology.
Okay.
Something that has recently
dangerous.
No, not as dangerous as you might think, but something that has recently been pulled off by the Japanese. They fired, I think it was something like 2 kilowatts of electricity in microwave form from space to a 2-meter touchpad on the Earth.
Okay.
He's ahead of his time, then.
In many ways, yeah, and there's a big cult in Eastern Europe about Tesla. Whether or not it's justified that he had this cult about him, they just believe that he was ahead of his time and that he was someone to
Has anyone got a pen?
And Edison electrocuted sheep.
Yeah, he did. He was a bit of a but scientists, a lot of physicists. Tesla was a very strange person, by the way, as well. That's another footnote for you.
Not a pen lid. I need a pen. You got a pen, Lewis?
I haven't. No, sorry.
So
he had very weird sort of ways of dealing. He was very socially introverted. He wasn't very good at dealing with people. In fact, it was well known that he would always wear gloves because he couldn't touch people, because he was a massive germaphobe as well. But yeah,
so he electrocuted sheep.
Yeah, Thomas Edison electrocuted sheep. You find physicists are this type of person, these sociopaths. Like for instance, Isaac Newton was also a real sociopath. He actually ruined Leibniz's career. They like to ruin each other because by disproving someone, either by not by disproving the theories, but by wiping them out socially.
Right. So did he also invent clickbait? Because I've seen.
Well, that's really
Edison.
interesting.
Edison.
So
I've seen what will happen next will shock you.
So what does that tell you about the episode that's about to be aired on Sunday?
Not a lot. I mean, it could be a number of things. There's probably going to be a Tesla coil in the episode. I tell you that.
Yeah.
And they are fantastic pieces of machinery. They're so interesting to watch running and everything.
So we are running short on time now. Let's move on to your news.
Oh, my news. Okay, here we go then. The first part of my news is about the multiverse that the Doctor hinted at in the recent episode. There are a few lines. The line it is one possible future. It is one timeline. Sort of opens us up to, thanks to Radio Times for research on this article, by the way. It seems to break with the standard Doctor Who finite singular timeline. However, it seems to be working from a different principle in time travel, which is that a multitude of timelines run concurrently, an idea put forward by Erwin Schrödinger in his lecture in Dublin in 1962. It will be interesting to find out how they will explain the fixed point in time with the backdrop of a multiverse. As a multiverse becomes divergent when a decision is made, but every timeline would have to converge at the fixed point. This could be a real. I'm messing up my own words here. Alright, so every timeline would have to converge before the fixed point could become a reality in all timelines. Otherwise, the Doctor and Fam could just jump to the next timeline along to the next timeline to gain a different outcome. Thoughts?
Sounds like to get Rose back.
You probably could, in this sort of thingy, but that's that's a fixed point, isn't it? Rose being zapped to another, it's become a fixed. Actually, was she a fixed point?
Well, that's the thing. They use that in Doctor Who a lot, where they say it's a fixed point. It's almost like they use it like a get out of jail free card. Like, oh, that's why we're not going back. That's why Amy and Rory have to stay there.
But
it's like he can't travel to the 1950s where Amy and Rory are.
Yeah. Well, specifically New York.
But but you can't travel there. But why couldn't the Doctor just travel to 10 years, across the pond?
Yeah.
And then just get a boat over. I don't see what the issue is.
Those two are alternate realities, where different timelines are just different things that could happen, and
be interesting to see what happens and how it goes forward. But multiverse.
So there were a few lines in this episode in terms of I thought were just awesome. In terms of the climate change thing, I'm just going to go into that quickly, and then we'll read on about it in a bit more detail. She says, as I said, it was sort of a soliloquy when she turns to the camera and just goes, "But it's not decided. You know that. It depends on billions of actions and people stepping up." Another line: "Lives change worlds. People can save planets or wreck them. That's the choice. Be the best of humanity." I really love that line. Be the best of humanity. And she's not just talking to the fam there. She's talking to the audience as a whole. Yeah. Which is excellent. So the overall message then that Chibnall's trying to send. So far we've got sort of.
I know what the theme of the series is. I've worked it out.
Oh, have you? Well,
the theme, science fiction.
Brilliant. Excellent. He's brilliant, isn't he?
Well, that's it for the show. Have a week.
So, overall message of the show, as stated by Chibnall, we have to figure out the overall message ourselves. The message in Spyfall seems to be about the evolution of science throughout human history. Where the message in Orphan 55 was about climate change and how humans are chugging along to their own inevitable demise. Given that the Doctor states that this is just one of many outcomes, but you get a real feeling for the detrimental effect humanity is having on the planet. Yeah. So far, I would put the overall message as we can change this future, and that technology is key. In many ways, we already have the technology. We need to change our patterns of abuse.
It's almost like the first episode was our past mistakes, and the current one is our current mistakes. And then the next episode will be our next mistakes. Yeah.
It's sort of like a Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Is that it for the news? I wasn't very newsy though.
Wait, we've got this last bit here. This series could probably wrap up with the fam using tech from just some thoughts that I put. This series could possibly wrap up with fam using the tech from Spyfall to send a message to get people to change their ways, either by warning of impending doom or by force. Imagine a Doctor who hacked the free will of the entire human race for the greater good. How would you see that Doctor?
Bad.
Obviously bad.
Yeah, Time Lord victorious. I've seen how that goes wrong before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Doctor bad.
Yeah,
bad Doctor.
I mean, it's not likely. It's not likely to.
Biscuit. Back in your box.
Get on your knees and say, "Master."
It's not likely to go down that way, but what if
it
that? What if
she
that,
nearly did?
What if that was the? What if that was the? The moral message or the moral dilemma at the.
Well, that's just what Chibnall does in all his writing. Each episode he does has to have a bigger message. Mm-hmm. Racism is bad. Global warming is bad.
Just a quick one. That,
Why can't I do another one about rainbows? Rainbows are cool.
just another quick one to do with the Eternal Child or whatever it is. Radio Times have an article out that seems to state that that this child maybe a prisoner of the Time Lords, and this is the big secret that the Master was alluding to. Not sure if that's true or not. In fact, I didn't finish the article because that was just the end of my research here. I suggest you read that article in Radio Times because it's an interesting bit.
I hope we see more about what's happening with the Master and Gallifrey in the next episode. I hope we're not all cutaway episodes.
I think we get a few standalones, and then
I do love my standalones. They're some of my favourite episodes, but I don't like it when they take over the entire Series 11.
I think Chibnall confirmed that there were going to be a few standalones, and then there's going to be a number of cliffhangers as well.
Yeah. What happened to Gallifrey?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favourite series of Doctor Classic is Trials of the Time Lord.
I can't explain how good it is.
You complained to the BBC, that's how good it was. You know, you was like, hello, it's Brian! I really don't like us!
I don't like this programme.
So is that it for the news?
Yeah, I believe so.
And that's it. Matt's us on to Whoniverse Hogwash.
Hey.
Whoniverse Hogwash, is it real, is it prank? Get your phone out, Lewis.
Who is writing?
Get your phone out.
Hogwash.
I'm keeping score.
It's okay, you need a calculator right now.
Alright.
Both of you get your calculators out.
Do I need a calculator, or is this one of those things that people say you need a calculator?
You need a calculator.
And really don't.
Trust me, you need a calculator.
If you take away your age from the current year, you get the year.
Oh, are we working out the...
We're going to find out who the champion was of Whoniverse Hogwash for the year of 2019.
Oh, wow.
So, I'm going to say a number.
Mm-hmm.
The first number is Brian, and the second number is Lewis. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now,
this is great podcast.
So the first, Brian 2, Lewis 5. Sorry, Lewis 3.
Oh.
Sorry, my bad. I jumped ahead. Okay? Now, afterwards, whilst you're adding up, you have to say where it adds up to.
Right.
So I'm going to say. So now I'm going to say Brian 5.
7.
Okay, are you with it, Lewis?
Yeah.
Lewis 1.
4.
Brian 3.
10.
Lewis 3.
7.
Brian 6.
16.
Lewis 5.
12.
Brian 6.
22.
Lewis 7.
19.
Brian 8.
30.
Lewis 4. And then we don't do it for a couple of weeks. Brian 7.
23.
37.
Lewis 7.
30.
Brian 6.
43.
Lewis 7.
37.
Lewis, you need to pick it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Brian 7.
50.
Lewis 8.
45.
It's catching up. Brian 5.
55.
Lewis 5.
50.
Brian 3.
58.
Lewis 6.
56.
What's the score difference right now?
2.
Brian 6.
64.
Lewis 6.
62.
It's so close. We don't do it. Brian 9.
73.
Lewis 3.
65.
Brian 7.
80.
Lewis 7.
72.
Brian 6.
86.
Lewis 4.
76.
Brian 9.
95.
Lewis 5.
81.
Brian 5.
100.
Lewis 2.
82. 83.
Brian 7.
107.
Lewis 8. Ooh.
91.
What was the final score?
91.
107.
It was actually quite close.
Yeah, it wasn't so far.
Are you okay?
16.
Are you a sore loser?
No, not at all.
So that was the final. So Brian, I'm happy to say you are the. What was the final score, guys?
107 to
91. No,
This is what you needed a pen for.
This is what I needed a pen for. You are the champion
What happened to the trophy? I'm sure we said there would be a trophy.
Yeah, well, that costs money. For having a score of 107.
107.
107, and Lewis's score was
91.
91. What a two. Brian, what's your last name?
Jordan.
You've been podcasting with him for nearly a year.
Brian
I'm
Jordan.
working with me.
Yeah. For more. For
18
long.
Sign that. What's today's date? It's the 13th. 13th. January.
2020.
Oh yeah.
You nearly put 1990.
I did put
or something,
19. 1920. I almost put down.
Nice.
So, I'll get a photo of you holding that for the Twitter account.
Are you going to get that frame?
I think I should do.
I was actually going to buy a frame, but I had to rewrite the
It's going to need
podcast.
to take the photo after.
I'm going to take it after.
Just
So,
practicing.
Brian,
Yeah,
how do you feel?
I feel like a champion.
You are a champion, that's why. So, New Year brings us on to a New Year's worth of Whoniverse and Hogwash, Lewis.
Okay.
And you have to beat the reigning champion, Brian Jordan.
A whole year. No, a whole year of this again. Him being the reigning champ.
Well, he is a reigning champ. He's the defending champion.
Yeah.
Brian, are you not defending? What does that certificate say?
It says Whoniverse Hogwash Champion 2019.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay.
Have you got
okay.
one?
I don't have one.
Okay. So, Whoniverse Hogwash, Whoniverse Hogwash, is it real, is it fake? Lewis, I think the champion should go first. Who's that?
No. Okay. Don't rub it in.
Who should go first?
Well, Brian, if
Oh.
he's the champion.
Okay. Champion Brian.
Yes.
The One Who Lies. A novel released in 2014 where the Doctor has been trapped on a Sontaran warship and interrogated. The Doctor escapes, but not before he has the ability to lie stripped from him. Can the truth be that deviating?
Hogwash, hogwash.
I'll agree with my learned friend, Hogwash.
It is Hogwash. The title taken from a popular Doctor Who role, and I thought it would be an interesting story one day where the Doctor is incapable of lying.
Is it the plot to Liar Liar starring Jim Carrey?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is. His pen is
Surely if the Doctor was incapable of lying, then we'd have to skirt around specific questions, because the one question that you would want answering if the Doctor...
What's your name?
Well, she just wouldn't answer it, would she?
Well, no, because compelled to tell the truth, I suppose.
No, she just can't lie.
They
So
could
you
refuse.
just don't answer it. Like, I
She
don't
could
want to
refuse.
answer that question. Lewis, runner up. War on Ice. Instead of returning Amy and Rory to Ledworth for Christmas, as he had promised, the Doctor accidentally lands the TARDIS on an Earth-like planet during winter. While Rory returns to the TARDIS to get a heavier coat, the Doctor and Amy meet the inhabitants of a planet called Morphans, who capture them as they are convinced the Doctor's psychic paper is a conjure, which is banned by their religion.
So, Hogwash Universe?
Okay.
Whoniverse Hogwash.
Okay. Champion Brian, you get 0 points. You get 2 points. It's Hogwash Universe. What's the score?
4-2.
4-2. Because you're scoring, you need to say the score after each question as well.
Okay.
Makes it easier when I'm scoring as well, when I'm writing it down. Champion
Yes.
Brian. Champion Brian. Champ Brian. Champion Brian. I don't know what to call you, Lewis. Loserous. Touched by an Angel. Ooh. The story is about a girl called Rebecca Whittaker, who dies in a car accident. Her husband, Mark, is still grieving years on, and he is sent back in time by a weeping angel. He attempts to stop her dying. The Doctor, Amy and Rory track him down and try to stop him before he creates a paradox. Now that sounds like a really cool story.
That's because it is Hogwash Universe.
Lewis?
Whoniverse.
Whoniverse.
Oh my goodness. It's 6-3
To who?
to Lewis.
Is the champion losing?
Yeah.
Okay. This one might be a bit racist. Ghosts of India. Who's next? Is it you, Lewis?
No, did I do this first?
It's Lewis to go first.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Ghosts of India. A novel written by Mark Morris. This is the story of a shopkeeper, a train conductor, and a good Samaritan, whom were all killed by a mysterious assailant. Can we solve a mystery before they disappear into nothingness?
What's the name of it?
Ghosts of India. Yeah, so this is the story of a shopkeeper, a train conductor, and a good Samaritan, whom were all killed by a mysterious assailant, and it looks like they're trying to solve the murder.
Right, okay. It sounds more like Scooby-Doo. I'm going to go Hogwash.
Brian?
Whoniverse Hogwash.
Okay, Lewis, you get 1 point. Champion Brian, you get 2 points. It's a real book written by Mark Morris. However, the story goes like this. India in 1947 is a country in the grip of chaos. A country torn apart by internal strife. When the Doctor and Donna arrive in Calcutta, they are instantly swept up in violent events.
Calcutta. It's not known by that name anymore, is it?
Well, it's 1947, isn't it? So yeah,
That makes it 7-5.
who's winning? Champ?
Not me.
Not you. Sorry, you can pull it back into a draw, I guess. Brian, The Ship of Death. A novel written by A.J. Phillips tells the story of a doctor and company responding to an SOS. Shipmates on the ship are turning up dead, or even missing. Can we solve a mystery before the Doctor joins the ranks of the missing?
Hogwash Whoniverse.
Yeah, I'll agree. Hogwash Universe.
Hogwash.
Oh.
You both get 1 point. What's the final score, Brian?
It's 8-6 to Lewis.
8-6 to Lewis. Well done, Lewis. You beat the champion.
Nice. I feel good.
You should feel good. I noticed you felt proper down watching your lead. You never actually had the lead, did you?
I think at one point I might have equalled.
No.
Did I not?
No. The
No.
closest you ever got was like was it 2
off,
points?
2 off.
I think it was 2 points in one stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was before you changed the writer, and then.
is it
Before Brad got involved.
so is it really difficult now?
Well, yeah, it's not the same. I mean, it was easier to tell your writing style. I got used to your writing.
But he
style.
told me he likes to go by the name Bernard,
And as well,
and also Bernard would like you to know that I wrote these ones.
yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
So you can't use excuse on this.
But there wasn't a Stargate universe.
Oh yeah, well that's something I actually wanted to mention. I was also
That way I got them all.
I was also curious. So listening to the old shows for the points. In episode 38, you counted 8 points for yourself, and I counted 9. So I wanted to know if I deducted 1 point, would Lewis win, or would it make a difference? It didn't. And in episode 44, we had our last ever Stargate reference because Bernard kept messing it up. Like he didn't put in the effort to disguise it.
Yeah, change the characters.
So we have a question from Gallifrey and Gabble. We had it last week, but like I said, I didn't get to listen to the show, and I'd like to hear your opinions. Maybe elaborate on it a bit more as well.
What's this?
This is a
Gallifrey and Gabble.
sort of fantasy actors to play the role of the Doctor.
Yeah, we've got an email from Catcher on Rye, and hey there, couldn't think of anything to rhyme with Ryan, so opted for something more classic. Anyway, my question is, in a world of super mega actors who, even if offered the role of the Doctor, would likely turn it down due to being offered larger roles, who would like to see play the Time Lord? I'd personally like to see Henry Cavill play him, our very own British Superman. He's funny, smooth, handsome, and he's just so splendid. An amazing actor. He has all the range, and we get to see him play Sherlock Holmes this year too. I can't wait.
He's really going to play Sherlock?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, nice.
So who did you choose?
I said Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Yes.
Wow.
Who I
He
got
played-
confused
you,
with.
You thought you were thinking of O'Grady.
Will Grady, yeah.
That's gonna get the show off the air.
Yeah. He's really good as Perkins in Mummy on the Orient Express.
And Lewis, who did you choose?
I have no idea. Who did I choose?
Quite like the idea of Rupert Grint, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was only when put to the question of a ginger Doctor Who.
Didn't we settle on Emma Watson in the end?
Emma
so
Watson
to
would
speak?
be-
Oh, Emma Watson would be an amazing. Yeah, I changed my answer. You don't know what my original one was anyway. I was going to say the guy who played Jean-Luc Picard. What's his name?
Oh, Patrick Stewart. He's actually, yeah,
They can't,
Patrick
they
Stewart.
can't have two actors from Huddersfield playing the role of the Doctor.
No, but
No, but
Patrick,
this
Stewart,
would be-
Patrick Stewart would play an amazing
He's such a
part.
good actor. But no, you're right. I
Let's
prefer Emma
hope the
Watson.
BBC make it so.
Oh, don't get that reference.
You know, there's actually a Star Wars reference in an episode of Doctor Who. It's in the Raven episode, you know, where Clara gets killed.
She used the Force.
Not Star Wars, sorry, Star Trek. There's a picture of a Kraken attacking a ship in one of the alleyways, and there are 3 people wearing Star Trek
A
uniforms.
Kraken attacking a ship.
Yeah, a Kraken attacking.
Well, you know, there's Doctor Who references in Star Wars.
Are there? Oh, Martha Jones is in Star Wars.
Is she?
Yeah.
Favourite argument?
Yeah, she's.
I'm talking classic Who.
She
now.
pretty much gets blown up.
Yeah, one of the costumes from Doctor Who is reused in Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, and also Boba Fett is in Doctor Who as well.
Yeah, rather than the character.
So hot.
Jeremy Bullock.
But yeah, Emma Watson. But Patrick Stewart would be an amazing Doctor.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart, excellent. Just a quick one. Remember the advertisement that I sent you? It was like an article with an advertisement. Matt Smith was put on the front of.
Oh yeah, so for the listeners, Lewis sent us a screen grab of Bird's Eye Fish Fingers with Matt Smith in the top upper corner.
Yeah, it brought so much joy to my life to know that had been a thing at one point. I don't.
No,
think
it brought so much joy to my life. I mean, it took it all away when I found out it wasn't even a real thing.
It was a real
No,
thing.
it never. I couldn't go out and buy them.
No,
so it's not,
no,
so it's not
you
real.
couldn't buy them because it was a limited
So
run.
it's a parody. No,
It
we
was a
made
limited
one. It
run.
said in the article I read, we made
Oh,
one
did
and
they?
just sent it to him.
One packet or one fish finger.
I think it was just a box. But he got a year's supply of fish fingers there.
Excellent.
So one packet of fish fingers then.
Because that's how much we eat in a year.
I wonder how much custard he'd need for a year's supply of fish fingers.
How much?
Yeah. Do you know how much?
I don't know. But so that's it for the show.
Yeah.
You had fun
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
Been
good,
alright.
good to have the gang back together.
to be a champion.
It's good
Yeah.
to win Whoniverse or Hogwash
Yeah.
Yeah.
by clear 3 points.
So you're ahead for the first time ever in Whoniverse or Hogwash then. How does that
Yeah,
feel?
possibly. Yeah.
Undiscovered country for me, this.
What, being second place?
Yeah.
you're reigning champion. You let it get to your head, and now you're losing.
So I've let my game go.
You better win.
He's a Ronnie O'Sullivan, isn't he? He's either really good or really bad. So that's it
Much
for.
like Leeds United.
Big thanks to Zip Farm for making our logo again. For the revamped 2020 logo.
Cheers, it.
Absolutely
Yeah,
splendid. Don't know where you are, swing around in those. It's actually a surprise you got back to me to make this new logo. Thank you so much.
Do you know you could probably walk on zip juice?
Is it because it's a viscous something? like
Yeah,
you can
because
walk
it's
on custard?
it's probably a non-Newtonian fluid.
That's the one.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, if you impact a non-Newtonian fluid, you can.
You know, it'd be really funny.
You can stand on the
if
surface.
Zip Farm actually listened to the show, got in touch with us and said Zip Farm is my family name. And we've spent the last nearly 50 episodes
Yeah.
taking a mickey.
Yeah.
I made you a logo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh,
Zip Farm.
Zip Farm's family get in touch with us and say she drowned whilst trying to walk on zip juice.
Thanks a lot. Turns out she didn't believe in Jesus. You can follow me on Twitter at Watson's Musings.
You can follow me at Beach007.
Lewis, where can we find you? No one cares.
Just follow me in real life.
That's what I do.
Please
Yeah.
don't.
Except Brian had
Yeah.
to steal his TARDIS off
My-
his bag. Have you noticed yet?
my wife.
Joking.
You better not.
I've not got
My
it.
wife keeps bringing that up, Jamie. You should really stop following me now.
I'm not following. I'm following her. You just happen to be there.
Oh my god.
How is your wife anyway? It's okay, I already know.
How's your wife and my children?
don't forget you can also follow the show at Whoniverse Show. You can email us at thewhoniverseshow@gmail.com. You've been listening to the Whoniverse Show. Have a week.
week.
Shut up, Lewis.